Today we're going to show you guys how to take a front wheel off of a bike. We're going to use the Liberte, which has a quick release. A nutted axle has the same motions, okay? So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to need to open up the brake. No tools are needed. What you do is you could squeeze both half of the brakes. What I do is I grab the noodle right here and I push on this brake arm, and that helps to clear the little bridge right here. So you see this little slot that the cable comes out of, and then you just release, and now your brakes are open. So depending on how tight your brakes are set up, you may have a little bit of a difficulty opening up the brakes. So in that first sample we showed you, the brakes were really easy to open up. But in this example, the brakes are much closer to the rim, and it's going to take a little bit of effort. You can even see there's not much room for this rubber boot to slide around. So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to squeeze here or pull and push and try to get that cable through that little slot, just like that. And then you can see the boot is covering. So when we're closing it back up, we're gonna have to figure out a way to slide this so we can get in there and then just get that cable back into that slot. But you can see it's much harder. It doesn't go all the way to the cable like the first one did. I'd have to push a little bit more. Just like that, okay? This is one of those times when you wish you had an extra set of hands. They're open. The next thing you're gonna do on the quick release wheel is you just open the lever. So you pull this lever out, away, and then one thing you'll notice, the wheel's loose, but it doesn't come out. There's a safety feature for all bikes for the front wheel that prevents, in the case of axle nut or quick release opening, that prevents the wheel from falling out. So you'll feel that it's loose, but it won't come out. So to get past these little tabs or this recess, just hold on to one side and then unscrew the opposite side. Doesn't matter which one. You can use the lever, you can use the nutted side, but give it a few turns and then the wheel will come out. And that's it. So it comes out, do whatever you need to do, change your flat, and then you just work everything in reverse. So slide the wheel back up in here. You'll notice I have the bike in a stand, and to be honest, it would be easier if you put this bike on the ground because you'll have the weight of the bicycle pushing evenly on both sides because you don't want to tighten it so that it's crooked, right? So what I'm doing is I'm pushing it up, and then for quick release wheels, close the lever about halfway. Hold on to the lever and then tighten by hand the nut on the opposite side until you get some resistance, and then test. So you're gonna close, that still feels really loose, so I'm gonna give it another turn. Another test, still loose. We're gonna do this. You should start progressively getting tighter and tighter, and then sufficiently tight, it leaves that impression on the palm of your hand that we talk about in our quick release adjustment video. Finally, we're gonna go back up to the brakes. Just bring this bridge back over, pull on one, push on the other side, drop that cable into that little slot again, and then make sure the end of this noodle goes through the little bridge. So you don't want it getting stuck like that. You wanna make sure it goes all the way through. You can slide the little dust cover back on, give the brake a couple of squeezes to make sure it's reset, and then spin the wheel to make sure that it's not rubbing the brakes.